Hi, everybody, and welcome back to That CBD Show. I'm Christy Burkhead, and with me, of course, is Drew Burkhead. And today with us, we have a very special guest, a new friend of ours from here in the Tampa area. For about 15 years, she has been igniting desires in others to live well by experiencing life with all of your senses. So that's really interesting. We're going to be talking a lot with her about that today. Maria is a mom of 5 kids that she very lovingly calls her 5 experiments. And she likes to help people find their unique lifestyle and how to equip people to live above the wellness line. So with her life and the life of her family, she's showing others how to take healthy back. So Maria, welcome. Marie Malec is with us today. Welcome.
Hi,
and thank you for being here. So you are here in the Tampa area.
Yes.
And your specialty is helping people get healthy generally, right?
Right. Find their unique lifestyle flow. And everybody's different. Health is not one size fits all. So I help people find who they are and what their wellness goals are and help them reach them very simply.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. So when you talk about being healthy to you and in what you do, what does that mean exactly? What does being healthy mean?
For me, being healthy is living in all my senses, igniting smells, tastes, people I surround myself with, and that leads to, for me, a very balanced lifestyle. Okay. And if I keep the vibration high, meaning keeping everything positive, eating live foods, for me, that's what healthy is. Oh. And it's not that difficult. I think people overthink the whole healthy thing. We are attached to labels. I don't prescribe to any particular diet or fad. I just live in the way that my body requires me to live.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we have, we're definitely into the energy side of things. We had Dr. K. We actually had him on the show. And he did an energy balance where he read Christy's energy before she took the CBD. Mm-hmm. And then she took the CBD, the ultrasound, and then immediately after he read her energy balance after and could feel her energy field growing. That's something that Dr. K measures and does. So lot. We're definitely into that. We like, to understand that high energy level things. That's why we talk about what we do on the show today. But we were talking just before we got started about smells. And we're learning a lot with this aromatherapy and oil, so this is great for us. But John was mentioning if he smells too many things, he can get a migraine. And you were saying, well, maybe that's because it's a chemical smell, not an oil. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Sure. Smell is our strongest sense that it is the first thing imprinted on our brain in any situation.
Wow, you told us that. We had an earlier meeting. That was really...
I had no idea, and that's cool.
The association there. I don't know that we made that connection.
So you can have a good or a bad experience with a smell. Sometimes a bad experience is because it's a chemical and our body doesn't understand that information. I use essential oils. I eat organic food. And when you put live things in your body, you can expect to thrive. If you're going to put processed food in your body that's dead, basically, you can't expect to live a vital life. And all the things that make up processed food, dead foods, are what are throwing our body out of balance.
Right. The food supply is just at the beginning of so many things. But what I'm hearing is that just inherently with food, it's not just the quality or the content that's in the food. It actually has a vibrational
Absolutely.
relationship or an energy that it's bringing in as well, that of course the body's tapping into. So some of that just makes sense at the surface level, but there's maybe a little bit more happening there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with the sense of smell, when you smell something, the first thing affected is your brain. So you want to make sure that what you're smelling is going to be life nurturing. And it's through the sense of smell that we can actually release emotion. We can store emotion through the sense of smell. And really with the essential oils, we talked about vibration, is that it's the vibration of the oil that resonates through the body.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's not the quantity of the oil that you're using, it's just introducing it into your body. And then the vibration of that is carried throughout your cells. And they're always working for your best interest, always to create balance.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm very aware of a vibrational scale of, where something, what I'm thinking about, what I'm experiencing, where it is on a vibrational scale and how that affects what happens in my life. But I'm not sure that everyone is really clear on that. So let's take a minute and talk to us just a bit about how vibration and frequency, what does that have to do with your general overall wellness and your ability to attract things into your life that you want? How does that relate?
Well, I can give you a simple example. If you're in a room and someone who's in a bad mood walks in the room, everybody's affected by that.
Sure.
And whether you want to call it energy or what, a vibe, that's what you're getting from the person. So their energy is affecting you.
Okay.
And
Just as a simple explanation for someone to kind of understand, right? I mean,
So
just-
low frequency things, music that's dissonant or
Right.
Things that aren't natural, bleach or things that
Right.
those tend to be in energy form, vibrating at a lower
Right.
frequency. Is that okay?
Exactly.
So,
And
understand. And then natural things maybe more so
Right.
higher. Okay.
A better quality. You have to look at the whole process, though. When I'm thinking of food in general, is who planted the food? What's the company? What's the intention behind it? Who picked it? What was the mood of the people who were processing it? All of that lends to what we're taking in or putting on our body.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's not a Bowl and Branch commercial, but I love their sheets. We
Right.
love their sheets.
We do. I know.
And part of their business model was that they actually went in vertically and sort of changed the way that the industry
The cotton
was
industry.
being run and improved the lifestyle of the farms and all of that supply chain, changed that whole energy. Now they have this tremendous product. And to your point, I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I never really. Yeah, I mean,
How far can we all go in our choices of food supply? It's not always that
Exactly.
deep that we can go there, but be thinking about that a little
Right.
bit, that how that all contributes into what it is ultimately that you're taking in. And then in natural form, of course, if something's growing in nature, well, it's just balanced in nature. There's nobody really,
Right.
touching that or manipulating.
Exactly.
it.
So when you work with someone, let's talk a little bit about when you have a client and you work with someone that comes to you and what are those people necessarily looking for, and what do you do when you sit down with them? You were mentioning releasing emotion and achieving above the wellness line by using essential oils. Obviously, you integrate a lot of things, food and lifestyle in general.
Right.
But with particularly, we have this diffuser here, and I'm not sure how well that can be seen, but we have this great aroma coming up that I think you mentioned was gratitude. So let's talk a little bit about, I think everybody would be interested to hear what you do when you work with someone and how you use these oils and everything to bring them above the wellness line.
Sure. I have a discovery session, which is just that. We discover what your goals are, what you're here for. We determine your comfort level on things that you want to either give up or things that you want to add. I try to do things very simply because we're overstressed, we're overwhelmed, we're overworked. And if it's going to take too much time, too many ingredients, special equipment, that's not sustainable. So we do a lot of discussion about really what's that person's personality, how do they like to learn, how do they like to execute things, and pinpoint emotions that maybe plagued them for so long that's keeping them stuck. And we're talking about energy. I like to look at it like a garden hose. You have flow from the source, and you get a kink in the garden hose, and then that disrupts the flow of the water.
Okay.
And that's pretty much like our lives and our bodies, that they get stuck, and many times we're going to outside sources to help get us better when we need to get back in touch and
Okay.
use things, supplements that are life-giving. In a discovery session, we determine what emotion that might be keeping you stuck. And that could be the key to unkinking the hose, so to speak. And we build a blueprint unique to that person. A lot of people always say to me, well, what do you do? Well, what I do isn't what you're probably going to do. Mm-hmm. And that's not going to be sustainable. And since it's not one size fits all, my amount of kale that I would eat is different than the amount that you would eat. The amount of oils, or which oils you would use throughout the day.
Okay.
And I like a more relaxed approach to wellness, because if you're just focused on that, you're not really living. And that's why I like to surround myself with beautiful things and color and water and high frequency music. Everything in your environment should be life nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And build you up.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so that then speaks to something that I've heard you mention a couple of times, which is sensory alignment. What is that? How do you achieve that? And what exactly would you call that? How do I know if I'm there?
Well, if you're there, you're in touch with your senses. And that's really what it is, aligning your heart and your mind together. So many times people just live life out of their head. Well, what should I do? And they're not listening to their heart. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. Or some people are so emotional and then they're not logical. And we try and bring a balance between the heart and the mind.
Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So you're doing that with a combination of oils or food or supplement, or just might be different various things that might be something that you're going to would be recommending or guiding somebody to. I see you have some diagrams here of the reflexology, I want to call it.
Right,
But that,
yes.
I know that that is so fascinating, the connections there in the foot that you have into the rest of the body. So it looks like you're covering a lot of
Well, what's
ground.
really interesting is that we have so many microsystems of our body, our hands, our feet, our face, our eyes, our tongue, our ears, all correspond to a different organ of our body. So if one part of your body hurts, it's not just that one part of your body, it's really your whole body. And, in reflexology, everybody understands what the foot is, that every part of the foot corresponds to an organ of the body. So you can actually just massage your feet and do your whole body good. And in the session that I have with people, I mostly use essential oils, because oils help to unlock stuck emotion. And then at the end of the session, the oils that we've used, I actually give to you to go home with it, because then that reinforces the work that we already did in the session. Mm-hmm. Scent actually imprints on the brain, which is pretty neat.
I think that's amazing. You said that in our meeting the other day, and that just wasn't something that I was aware of. But ever since I met with you, I've been very conscious of that. And you can see how just a certain smell, just stepping outside, can take you back to being 10 years old.
Absolutely. And the oils that we use in a session is creating a new neural pathway. And the longer that you use that, it keeps reinforcing that new neuropathway, which is replacing perhaps a bad habit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it takes 66 days to create a habit, to put it into long-term memory. So what I teach people is very sustainable. It doesn't take anything to open a bottle of oil and to smell it. And that could positively affect your body for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
Do you want to try one?
Let's try
Sure.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be great. Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting opened up to a new level of thinking where being able to use the scent in a strategic way to sort of create either that emotion or cause
mood?
that drive.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I haven't been utilizing that sense
No,
of
not at
my
all.
body and self. And I realized that I've always known the oils and seen them. We've had a vaporizer at the house with some peppermint in it, but I've never really understood or made a connection to say this is something to pay a little bit more
Right.
attention to and use and utilize. So
what have you
with
got?
that, yeah.
Well, like I said, our faces are a microsystem of our whole body. One way in which I like to bring my emotions down if I'm feeling unsettled
Or stressed, maybe anxiety, that kind of
right,
thing? Okay.
is to put an essential oil on the tip of your nose, because the tip of the nose corresponds to the heart.
Okay.
So within 30 seconds, quicker than it would take you to get up, go get a pill, go get a glass of water, take it, and let it go through digestion, in 30 seconds, you could already be bringing your levels down, which
Okay.
is really incredible.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I'm just going to ask you to...
And it doesn't matter, or do you kind of find the oil along the way that works?
It really doesn't matter. There are certain oils that are known to do certain things, but all
Just on the nose?
all oils work in the same way, in that they are always seeking balance. So I just put on the tip of my nose when I am...
Everybody see that?
It smells, it's got an
when I'm
earthy
feeling
smell to it,
unsettled.
like cedar.
This is called Valor. I use Young Living Essential Oils, which is the world leader in essential oils.
I have heard of Young
And
Living for sure.
So then spin your hands, because you're spinning the molecules, and then just take a huge
Yeah.
inhale.
Okay. Well, I wish everybody, we need smell-o-vision.
What's really
It's very good.
exciting is that
That's
there are
amazing.
40 million trillion molecules in one drop of oil. So you can imagine taking all that goodness, and all your cells are taking in 20 minutes, your entire body has experienced it.
Okay. And it's really interesting is that when you use these, I really have never used them. I've put them in diffusers, but I've never used them on my skin. And you can see if you do this, I thought it was going to be greasy, but it just goes away. It just dissipates when you rub your hands together. The smell is still there, but there's no grease.
Because essential oils are made up of the same things that our bodies are made of. It is a like substance. And the molecules are so small that there's immediate absorption. And the reason why we smell it first is A, it ignites our brain, but 70% of toxins are released through the breath. So truly, if you're having unsettled emotions, if you just get up and take 3 deep breaths, I know, take a deep breath and breathe. When someone goes to smoke a cigarette, what's the first thing they do is take that big inhale.
I heard something the other day that someone said cigarette smoking is lazy man's meditation.
Kind of.
Because it's breathing in and
You're
out.
taking that deep breath,
Right.
and you're blowing it, especially if you're in an unsettled emotion, the first thing you do is blow out.
Right.
Well, let's do that without the cigarette. And I do it with essential oils, and you can't OD on them. If you have some sort of something that you're feeling, you can use an essential oil until that goes away, until that unsettled feeling goes away.
I have a random question for you with this. I know with our CBD, a lot of people like to put CBD in a vaporizer and not in this manner, but actually smoke it.
Right.
Is essential oil done ever that way, or is that a bad idea?
I think they're coming out with new technology to do that, but really the easiest, the quickest, the best way is to put it on your body, to put it on your hands and inhale it. Okay. And then if you have more persistent things going on, you might want to take them internally You can put them on topically, and then of course you can diffuse them, and you can put them in your food, in your smoothies. That's what I call an oil-infused life.
Right.
Is that in every aspect of my life, I'm experiencing oils in my personal care products, in my food, and just for enjoyment. And there's so many oils out there that you can't get bored. You could put however many combinations in a diffuser, and it never gets old, and it's always different, and it's always fresh, and it's always new.
And maybe making you experience something different, making you feel a different
Absolutely.
way, a different mood, helping you come down from stress or be energized if you need to be energized. Okay. That's
Exactly.
Really
And they're
interesting.
always seeking balance. So what you might be using an oil for, it's going to be doing something else in your body because they have a divine intelligence and they know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
have to know what to do.
Right.
More people are concerned about using essential oils and how it's going to affect them more than they're worried about the side effects of pharmaceuticals that they might be blindly taking.
Yeah.
And I want to help shift that where you might think of an oil, you might think of CBD, you might think of eating watermelon. But who isn't happy when you eat watermelon?
Yeah.
Right. Of course.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of
So
course.
you just want to keep putting positive and high vibration frequency things in your environment.
Right.
And then it brings your own personal vibration up. So things like
Exactly.
illness and stress or lack and
low
scarcity,
vibration.
those are all low. So if you bring your body's vibration up, then those sorts of things really
Right.
have to go away. Right? So
If someone's upset, I used to do this with my kids all the time when they were mad at me and they were giving me attitude, and I would say, "Stop laughing. Stop laughing."
you're right.
And then
it makes me laugh.
And then they start laughing, and then okay, problem solved. I don't have to yell. They don't have to have a tantrum.
I love that.
It-
That's
it-
beautiful.
Yeah, you can't help but laugh if someone's laughing, even if you're in a
Someone
bad
tells
mood.
you to stop laughing, you kind of
Right,
start.
you- yeah.
Start. Well, okay. So now we obviously are very involved with the CBD. How does essential oil work with CBD, and how can the people that are watching us that are taking CBD or
Mm-hmm.
are interested in doing it, how can we find a way to integrate those? How do they work together?
They work phenomenally together. Because they both come from plants. It's just this
That's
one
it.
plant. You know, you got a watermelon, you got an orange. They're both good by themselves, but together they enhance each other. Essential oils are carriers, and what they will do is they will combine with the CBD and help make it more bioavailable and drive it in deeper into the cells.
Cool.
Like I said, essential
Amazing.
oils have 40 million trillion molecules in one drop.
Yeah.
That's
So imagine how small they are. They can pass the blood-brain barrier and affect the brain in a very positive way, and then affect every other cell in your body in like manner.
wow.
Sure. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you and learn more about this and get exposed to this more. I know that we've been exposed to it, but we've never really
Not like
taken
this.
the conversation
You've really helped
further.
us
I hope it's
understand it.
helpful,
I'm glad. I
as
hope
helpful
so.
to us too.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody.
I know, and I just want to switch gears a little bit, but that you have some events coming up. March 19th, you have an
Yes.
event coming up. Maybe we want to talk about that a little bit before
Tell us a little bit.
we run out of time today.
Sure, and
okay.
that's why I'm wearing this shirt today.
I'm a hugger. I
I'm
love
a
it.
hugger. A friend of mine and I from college reunited after 35 years, and actually we haven't seen each other in 35 years. Vanessa White of the Hugging Army, and she goes around the country giving out free hugs.
Aw.
And I said, why don't you come to Florida and let's do a tour?
Okay.
And we are going up to the Panhandle to those who suffered from Hurricane Michael, and then we're coming back down to Tampa, and we are going to have an event at Skipper's in Tampa,
Okay.
and we're calling the event Hug a Hero. We
Okay.
are mainly focused on going around hugging veterans because of
Wonderful.
what
We
they
have several of
suffer.
those in our
Yes,
life.
we really do. And those who suffer from psychological and physical and emotional trauma.
Mm-hmm.
The human touch is so important, and a 20-second hug is actually like taking an antidepressant because it releases
I have
endorphins.
heard that before. That's amazing.
you breathe, you synchronize your breaths with that person, and you make a real connection. And there's so many people who are really not touched. And a hug is the simplest way to relieve someone of some of the trauma that they're experiencing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's turned into an amazing event. We've partnered with Veterans for Cannabis, and we are going to have this great event with raffles, and we're going to be giving out hugs.
Great. Wonderful.
Cool.
All right. So that's Tuesday evening, right?
It's
on the
Tuesday
19th?
evening. We've committed to it,
We'll
too.
be there.
We're going to be
So
there in
anybody that
support
wants
for
to join
your
us, please come
Right.
out.
for your
Yeah.
cause. We've put some product in for the raffle
Raffle and-
ourselves too,
Right.
because
Absolutely.
it's a great cause, and we talk about other things that in fact this organization Elise does as well, like a Patriot program and some other things where we're getting product out to veterans as well for these issues that they're dealing with, PTSD and physical
other things.
ailments and those sorts
Okay.
of things. So
Right.
definitely a cause that we're all supporting of. So.
Right, absolutely. All right, so Maria, in just the couple minutes that we have left,
Okay.
Do me a favor and tell everyone where they can reach you, how they could get a hold of you to talk to you a little bit more about what you do and how you might be able to help them and their families.
I've got your Facebook pages up here
Okay.
too. It looks like you got a couple here.
Well, there's a lot of ways to get in touch with me. Some people like to text, some people want to call, some people want to go to a website, Facebook, so I got it all. You can reach me at aromalivingbydesign.com. I have two Facebook pages, one that focuses more on brain health.
Is that the
called
Universe?
Center of the U, YO Universe, and Aroma Living by Design. That's on Facebook. And
Okay.
my phone, I don't know if you want me
Yeah,
to give
shout
out
your phone number
My
out if you
phone
want.
number is 813-957-0865. And any way that you want to reach me, I will get back to you as soon as I can.
And so with drugs, they have side effects. With plants, they have side benefits. And then that's what
Absolutely.
we say. So combining these things, you get this entourage effect, this synergy, this where you start to amplify the effects
Absolutely.
of what it is that you're taking when you're combining all plants, and Mother Nature handles it. She takes care of it. She doesn't make any sort of mixing or matching issues. I mean, of course, there's plants out there that are poisonous
Of
that somebody
course.
shouldn't consume.
Well, yeah.
But outside of that condition, everything just works together better as a whole. So I don't know what to say. I'm just
That's great. It's been
yeah.
great to have you on here.
Thank
We
you
really
so
appreciate
much.
you guys. It's Maria
Yeah.
Malec. Thank you very much.
Thank
and thank
you.
you, everybody, for watching That CBD Show. We will see you next time.